Hi there, today I'm in Google Sheets because I'd like to talk to you about creating a goal setting and goal tracking spreadsheet that you can use with your students, as well as how to add in charts and graphs to make your students' progress and growth over time visual to both you and your student. So I've set up a bit of a template here that I'm going to be using in today's demonstration, and you'll be doing the same when you want to set particular goals with your student. So each student is going to, on this template, need to add their name here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. They'll have activities that they need to add scores for. The nice thing about a number protocol like this one, activity 1-1, is once I've added one activity, I can go ahead and use that little blue box here in the bottom right. Click that and drag down to add new activities, and it will automatically number those. So I can add another activity just like that. My students will need to place their scores for these activities in this column. We'll have a goal percentage that they want to reach on each of these activities. So their goal for this particular student is 80% on each of these activities. And then I'm also going to show you how to insert an overall average here. So I'm going to start with the overall average, and I'm going to kind of leave scores for a little bit later because I want to show you some of the capabilities of the charts within the spreadsheet and why we're choosing Google Sheets for the value addedness of their charts. So I'll go ahead and insert this average by going to Insert, Function, Average. It's going to ask me to put in a range of cells that I'd like to have averaged. So I'm going to start with C2 since that's my first cell that's in my scores column, and I'm going to end with C50 because right now I have 20 activities ready, but maybe I have more that will need to be added a little bit later in this process, so I just want to be safe. It doesn't matter that I don't have scores in each of those cells as I go through. If they're blank, Google just kind of ignores those values. So as long as a student doesn't put, let's say, a 0 or a 100 in those other rows and columns, this will still calculate their average. So now that we have that there, we can click out. Right now it's an error because there's nothing inside those cells. I'm going to go ahead now and insert my graph or chart that's going to compare the scores that I'll put into the scores column with my goal percentage. To do that, I'll do Insert, Chart, or you also see this same chart icon over here on the toolbar. But I like to do Insert Chart. You can do it whichever way you like. It's up to you. And it's going to give me some recommendations of charts. I don't like any of those recommendations, so I'm going to come over here to Chart Types where it shows all the charts. And I'd like to do a double line graph, so I'm going to go ahead and use that double line graph. And go ahead and press Insert there. I'm going to make some modifications to this really quickly. I want the minimum score to be 0. I want the maximum score to be 100. I'm going to go ahead and leave these activities here. However, you could get rid of those names just by clicking on that, and you could delete that out of there if you'd like to. So now I'm going to add some scores into the score column to show you that these charts are not static. They are dynamic, meaning that as I add new scores into this scores column, it should populate over here as well. So I'm going to pause the video for a second, go ahead and add in my scores, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I've gone ahead and added my scores to my score column. As you can see here, I've shown some growth over time going from a 45 to a 90. Here's what that looks like on my chart. So I show an initial score. I had a little bit of a drop, and then I steadily kind of climbed up. As I add more scores, let's say I get a 100 on my next assessment, the Google Sheet will automatically go ahead and add that. If you watch right here, I'll show a little bit of a drop in my progress on this next assessment. Oh, I fell down below that goal line that's riding steady across there. So what's nice is as students go ahead and put in their actual percentages, they can see their progress towards that trend line of their goal percentage. They can also kind of see, hey, this is what my overall score is if these are the only things that are counted towards my grade. We didn't do any kind of weighting on these grades. They're all weighted exactly the same. So if you weight grades, this will not correlate obviously to your overall average in your class, but it's a nice way for students to be able to track their goals and set them along the way. If you want to send this out as a student template, all you need to do is simply go ahead and share like you normally would. We'll go ahead and press Get Shareable Link, and we'll make this anyone with the link can view. We don't want to give anybody editing privileges to this original one. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this link. And remember, the trick to making a copy would be just to change this word edit to the word copy. So I'll go ahead and put copy in there, and I will reselect that link and copy it. And I'll go ahead and send that link through, so that when you take that link with the word copy there instead of edit, which I'll show you again in a second, and students click that from your Schoology page or your Moodle site, the students will see this Google Drive logo and copy document. Would they like to make a copy of this? And they'll go ahead and press make a copy, making their own copy that they can edit without changing the original. So I'll come here and I'll put my new name, and we'll compare that to the original. So here's my original, just to show you, hey, this one says Bob the Builder still, and my copy says Susie Homemaker, so that they can, if they want to, or if you require them, reshare this goal setting and tracking form back to you without making changes to your original template. So you have that template to use over and over again with different sections of the same class, or you can also use that from year to year. So that trick again was share. Anyone with the link is your share setting. Grab that link, copy it. You can paste this into the link tool in Schoology, and then change the word edit at the very end of the link to copy. And once you do that, that'll make a copy of that particular Google Sheet, Google Doc, Google Slide into the student's My Drive on their Google Drive, just like I showed you here. So that's how you can create a templated goal setting, goal tracking spreadsheet in Google Sheets, add a graph, as well as deliver that to your students without affecting your original. I hope that this tutorial was helpful, and thank you for watching.